What is up, YouTube? It is HWFLOSS, the worst producer of all time, back with another video. And today we got an oldie but a goodie. Okay, so someone asked me, since I've been doing the series of doubling back on which AI MIDI generator, all of that, which is the best one, or what do you get in each one, they said, why don't you make sure you do a video on Chord Prism? Now, there's already videos out there from top influencers, top reviewers, but I want to do mine. So Chord Prism. All right, but before we go any further, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can get any video I upload to the channel. Okay, so Chord Prism enhance your ability to play keyboard with our patented technologies, create stunning melodies, bass lines, arps over any chord progression. You got a free trial and you got to buy now. So I'll put the link in the description, but let's head over to FL Studio. Okay, so we're in FL Studio. I got Chord Prism pulled up right now, and it's a lot to take in again, so it might be stretched out over a couple of videos, but I'll try to show as much as possible. When you get Chord Prism, actually this export will be on 0. You have default playing styles and methods. So when you do default, you'll have like bold, and you'll have the different type of rhythms you can play in. All right, so each category, just if you want a smooth type of vibe, go to the smooth type of vibe, and etc, etc. So we can go into hip hop, funk, and jazz, and look what it pops up. But before we do that, keep on going. VST, you can get your own VST started in there. So all you gotta do is click that and then scan all the VSTs that you have. Okay, then you got your chord generator. Now, I do recommend that you have a MIDI keyboard hooked up, because it just makes it that much easier when you're hitting the chords. And then for the first 12, you can play your chords, and then the other 12 you can play a melody and it stays in key. All right, so all right, and then it breaks it down as the first keys. Each key is a chord. Then you got your chord groups. If you want to change this, you can change this, but let's just go to triads right now. So it's simple. Then you can get the velocity of Afrobeat, hip hop, dancehall, house, reggaeton, etc. You can do repeat notes. You can do how fast. You can take strum up or down, however you want to do. See, now it's strumming. You can change the rate that it strums at if you want to. Alright, so it's a pretty cool feature. You have an editor right here. Also, the black keys change the mode of the scale, and you have a step sequencer for your arps, and you can turn it on and off in the patterns. Okay, so we're gonna leave that there. Then on the other side, the other 12. So we're looking at the first 12 start at C, then the other 12 notes starting, because each octave has 12 notes. You got your single notes on the white. All right, but then the black play an arp. All right, so if I was to hit C, or let me put it into no strum, or let me take down the strumming, the rate to 128. So it's kind of back at its normal pace, right? So if I hit this G and I hit this G, I'm gonna be in key, right? But if I take this G and I want to have an ARP sound, so it's gonna go depending on that. Now, don't worry, it tells you the ARP pattern. So this is zigzag up. We can go to stutter, and you can just change each one as long as you right click or highlight it, right? If I hit this one right here, I can change the rate. Now, you want a slower rate as you go down, and as you go up on tempo, you want a faster rate, right? And it makes more sense when you see. It just makes more sense when you have a slower rate. You right click on it, and then you can change the rate to 1/4 each one. Right click, change the rate on each one. Right click, change the rate on each one. Right click, change the rate on each one. If you're doing kind of like hip hop and you got a slower tempo. So now if I hit any one of them, okay, and once again you can change the rhythm. You can go converge down. If once you click on it, that's the one it's gonna give you, and then you can just click on it off. All right. And it stays in key as you hit the different chords. As you see, it's gonna keep whatever chord you hit, and then you hit over here, it's gonna automatically sync in key. So that's a very cool feature that it has, as far as you getting out your chords. Now this is just a small overview, and we'll keep on going because I know it's a lot to take in. But let's say you have a great chord progression and you've really locked in, you've been practicing, say, okay, I'm in scale, I don't have to worry about that. You just want to record it. How do you get the MIDI out? Okay, so we're gonna use that. Simple chord progression. I'm gonna show you that way first. All right, so you're gonna make sure you have your metronome on so you know what chords you're hitting, right? Then you're going to go to here, notes and automation, hit the space bar. It's gonna count 4, then that's when you're gonna go. All right, and then you did 4 different notes or 4 different instances, so it's gonna have a 4 right here because you recorded 4 in, right? And then you just take it and you just drag it to a VST, and you should have 4 different chords. All right, now if you don't do it that way and you just hold down one button and you don't use the export tool, it'll show up like this, just the 4 notes that you hit that are not chords, right? But you don't know, if you don't know music theory, you don't know what you just played. So you have to use that export tool that's right here to get the actual notes of it. And I'll do it, and then, you know, of course it was off beat, but you can always go Alt Q, except kind of move it over, make sure it's in a better key. This one's off. Remove that one over and add one right there, and then this one needs me to, oh, that one's off as well. What you could do is just, you know, get creative like that. Bam, 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 bam. All right. Let's go to Afro beat or dancehall Afro beat, and then you hear the rhythm now. So it's giving you the vibe that you want for the most part. All right. Okay, so we're gonna lay down this in a regular form using E minor. All right. Now make sure that you turn off your step sequencer if you don't want it to do that little like that. All right, so make sure you turn that off because it'll do whatever you want, and I'll show you that next. All right, but let's just go ahead and record this in. Put your metronome on, record, notes, automation, and then hit spacebar. It's gonna count 4 down, and then you go after that. It might be a little bit of delay, but you can work with it because you got quantized. Alright, so here it played just the regular notes, right? Just played one note, but you know you was hitting it and it was a chord coming out. So once again, you're hitting export, and it's not perfect, but you got to work with it. It's not perfect. hit export and then drop it on in, and then that's when you got to highlight everything and move everything over. Alt Q, get some quantize going. It's not gonna be perfect, but you know, work with it. And it's better than what you would do if you didn't have it. I'll say it like that. Alright, it's not perfect, but it's better than what you would do if you didn't have it. And then make sure it's in E minor with your helpers tool, and everything should be in key. And let's hear how it sounds. Cut off the metronome. And there you have it right there. All right, dope stuff. I like it. I like Chord Prism. It's just what you're comfortable with. I mean, if you're not comfortable with it, you're not comfortable with it. It doesn't come with any sounds, but you can scan your VSTs, or you can just use export MIDI over. All right, and then let's see here. This is what I was showing you, like when we put the metronome on, we'll put the notes automation. It's hitting doom doom doom. It's hitting what you have for the step sequencer. All right, so if you don't want that on, you can manipulate that. So let's try it this way. Let's cut this off, re-record it. Alright, and then it should be able to export over here. Bam. And it just gives you some different variations that you create because you use the step sequencer and you made some totally different pattern. Alright, so use that to get like some off-kilter type of rhythms that you know you can't do because you're just not that good at piano. All right, it's recording both of them, so we'll do that. Note automation, hit the space bar. Alright, and take off that and then export it out, and then you get your top melodies too. Alright, now it's off beat, so I'd have to Alt A, well not Alt A, I'm saying Control A, Alt Q, get it on board a little bit. Once you start getting the parameters that you want better and better, it just makes for a great VST, a plug-in, whatever you want to call it, man. And that's it for today. You can always change the step sequencer. It's so much. We're going to do more. Don't worry about it. We'll do a cook-up next time all the way through. But this is just Chord Prism, all right? Just like Scalar 2, Captain Melody or Captain Epics, all of that, got Chord Prism. Hit the like and subscribe button. Your boy HWFLOSS, the worst producer of all time. Peace.